Okay, this video is called Pre-Med Education Reform. Biology is the most common major in college for pre-meds. And I think it's really very stupid the way it's taught. It primarily emphasizes evolutionary biology of animals. There's a requirement for calculus for a full year at most med schools, physics for a full year, organic chemistry. Inorganic chemistry, at least a semester, if not 2 semesters. Organic, 2 semesters typically. That's all a waste of time. That should all be dropped. Should not be required at all. The small amount of organic and inorganic chemistry could be taught simply as part of the biochemistry class. They really don't need much of that. Biology should be taught with the emphasis on human biology. And you can mix in there, anatomy, physiology, and histology. They all go together pretty well. Okay, and it should be like a organ systems method. This is how the liver works. This is the liver's anatomy, liver's histology, and these are the diseases of the liver. That's how I always studied it. It's much easier to remember it that way. Biochemistry and molecular biology should be required for 2 semesters. So a full year, 5-unit class, 2 semesters. Then pathophysiology, further along, 2 semesters. Okay, that's where you learn pathology is the diseases. Okay. Nutrition should be 2 semesters, a full year. Epidemiology, 1 semester should be required, and then toxicology for another semester. They could go together. Epidemiology, toxicology. Once a person learns all this, it's obvious. That's why I do this all the time. I can take a medical student. I can teach them more in 2 hours than they learn in 4 years of pre-med, 4 years of med school, 3 years of residency. I do it all the time. I've had tons of medical students. It's always the same thing. You ask them the basic thing, what is atherosclerosis? They don't know. It's a blood clot. What's the most common cause of diabetes? They don't know. It's a high-fat diet, especially saturated fat. Okay. What's the most common cause of hypertension? It's a high-fat diet and high-sodium diet, low in potassium and magnesium from lack of plant foods. Basic. That right there is the most common diseases. That's going to be associated with obesity, hypertension, diabetes, and atherosclerosis. There it is. Just did that in 5 minutes. And they don't know that after 12 years. Okay, they don't know that. So they waste all their time with calculus, physics, organic chemistry, and then studying for all that stuff for the MCATs, medical college admissions tests, and it's just a big joke. It's a waste of their time. Okay, what else? History, health, and nutrition should be required for 1 semester. Statistics for 1 semester should be required. And I also think they should take a Western civilization course for 2 years, 4 semesters. Okay, it could be 3 units. But it should be for 2 full years with the emphasis on Christian ethics. Now, there's some people say, oh, you don't need Christian ethics if you're going to do medicine and science. That's not true. Because what you have in the modern world, we have atheistic Darwinism where there are no ethics. Everybody just wants to find how they can sell out to the highest bidder. Okay, it's like prostitution of science and medicine. It is. I mean, just be honest. Let's be honest. What do? Our female population celebrates killing their babies with abortions. They celebrate it. They're proud of it, okay? And then they chop them up, make them into medicines, and people eat that. That's cannibalism. Our society celebrates killing children and eating them, okay? It does. You can play with words, but that's what it does. And then in our public schools, they celebrate castrating children. They call it gender-affirming surgery. Just because you make up a name for something doesn't change what it is. It's castrating children. Our society is sick. It celebrates that. In our modern art museums, we have urinals as on display as art, and we have statues of feces, of turds. Okay, that's a sick society, and that's what I'm saying. In Christian ethics, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not kill. Those are good principles, the 10 Commandments. Okay, and love thy neighbor. Okay, you don't abort babies. You take care of your babies. Okay, you celebrate the family. Christianity is all about the family. These are valuable things. Antigone. There are laws of the gods that are above the laws of man. This will create ethical people who will do what is right for the patient. Right now, everybody sells out to the insurance companies and to the drug companies because they've got the money. Patients are a bunch of poor people. Unless you have ethics, you're always going to sell out. The cure rate for drugs and surgery for coronary artery disease is 0%. For hypertension, for diabetes, 0% when we got a low-fat vegan diet, which could cure tons of these people. And then people say to me, well, if we did all this stuff, we would cure, half the patients, and then there would be no money in it. So it couldn't sustain itself. Well, they'd figure out a way to make money in it. But at least we could have a small group of aristocrats who know this material. Nowadays, almost no one knows this stuff, and the only way to learn it is on your own reading. But that's doable for the ones who want to read. Just watch the videos on this YouTube channel. Anyways, I do think that Western civilization education makes people a lot more articulate, gives them much better ethics. Currently, science, the universities, they have zero ethics. Zero, none. I say that based on a lifetime of experience with them. And, everybody's like to say, oh, well, America's got the best technology, the best medical system. Is that really true? Why do we have the sickest people? We have the highest expenditure on healthcare, but we have the sickest patients because something we're doing isn't working, okay? And it is when we know things that work, hey, let's be honest. The patients are a bunch of poor people, and because they're poor, and they don't really pay for their care directly. An insurance company pays for their care. And the standard of care is drugs and surgery. And it's also true, lots of patients, they're confused, they're intoxicated, they're demented. You can't have a conversation with them, okay? But for the few, I wouldn't say the few, for the ones that you can, and there's a decent number of them, you should be allowed to have a conversation with them and get paid for it. If a doc can't get paid for teaching nutrition and lifestyle and all this other stuff, they're not going to do it. And also, if they're medical legally liable, if they don't prescribe the standard drug, they're going to prescribe the standard drug. Anyways, just knowing that it's possible. I also think they should study the lives of the important saints because that teaches you role models to go by to behave. You should learn about Thucydides, how people behave. You should learn philosophy and thinking, the basics. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, okay, all this basic stuff. And you should know some of the other ones too. You should know Schopenhauer. You should know Ayn Rand. You should know what the big thinkers thought of. You should know about the Renaissance, the great high points, and the history of art and music. So again, you get a sense of, well, gee, all these people did beautiful things with their life. I want to do something good and beautiful with my life, rather than be a weasel scumbag sellout and betray the patients by, promoting olive oil, omega-3 supplements, or all this other BS, soy, and all this other nonsense. So anyways, I realize this is like a utopian vision of what health education could be, but there it is.